Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to install the Minecraft server called Spigot so that you can ultimately use plugins if you would like to make a virtual feather microcontroller inside of Minecraft that syncs with a real feather plugged into your computer. If that is news to you, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check out the first video in this playlist if you want to learn more about that project. If you're just interested in installing the Minecraft Spigot server, this video will help you as well. But our goal with the rest of this playlist is showing people how to set up this feather inside of Minecraft. And in this particular video, we're going to cover one of the steps, which is this one right here, install and get running the Spigot server. I should note this information is published on GitHub, so if you want to follow along with the steps or see the links that I'm following, you can find this on GitHub at github.com/foamyguy/MinecraftFeatherRP2040. I'll also put the link down in the video description as well. I'll try to remember to do that. That's where this stuff is at. One more thing I'll mention before I get going, or a couple of things actually. One of them is there's a couple of prerequisites that you need to have in place. You need to have Minecraft installed already. You need to have Java installed already. You need to have Java on your system path already. I'm not going to show you how to do these things, but I will show you how to check to see if they are done or not, and I will point you towards some resources for getting it done. But this video is mostly about getting the Spigot server set up, not getting all the prerequisites. So if you want instruction on getting those installed, I recommend maybe pausing this video. Or if you want to go on, I'll give you a couple of resources that you can look at in order to get some of this done. But if you need to go ahead and pause this video, you can search YouTube for, like how to install Minecraft and then, your operating system if you're on Windows 10 or whatever. You can put that into YouTube. You'll find better instructions than I could give you on how to get that done, as well as getting Java installed and getting it on the path. There's going to be better instructions out there for you than I can give. So go ahead and search for those if you need them. The last thing I'll mention before I get going here is just to warn you, I'm going to do this kind of in real time. I might make mistakes. I'm not going to necessarily edit out problems or mistakes unless they turn out to take a really long time to solve. I'd like to give folks a look at how to set this up and how to troubleshoot some of the most basic things that could go wrong. So if I do mess it up and have to spend a minute figuring out how to get it fixed, just bear with me while I work through that. And if you end up having the same trouble, then you'll have seen how to solve it. So with that, I will get going. Again, we're inside this GitHub repo here. There is a page dedicated to this process here, Spigot server setup. So I'm going to click over to that one. And inside of here, we've got the high-level instructions. And so the high-level instructions are essentially going to be just go download a jar file. This is a type of Java executable file. We're going to download this file and run it, and it is going to build the Spigot server application for us. And then once it's been built, we'll then be able to run the Spigot server application and connect to it from our Minecraft client. Before we jump straight into that, though, I did want to mention, again, you do need to have Java installed. You need to have Java on the path, and we can check for that by opening a command prompt or a terminal. If you're on Linux or Mac, you can open the terminal. If you're on Windows, you can open a command prompt in order to do this. And to start out with, you can just run this command, Java space dash version. So Java and then a space and then a hyphen and then the word version. You can run that. This may or may not print some things out. It might tell you that it can't find Java. If it did find Java, then it might print this stuff out and tell you some information about the version and the specific install that you have. If the stuff that prints out for you is a little bit different than the stuff for me, don't worry about it. That's going to be okay. The important thing is that if it tells you that Java is not found, then you will need to either, if Java is already installed, you'll need to get it added to your path. Or if Java is not installed, then you'll also need to get it installed and added to your path. And something else that you need to know is that you do need Java version 17. So mine printed here 11.16. This is actually a very old version of Java. What we want is Java 17 plus. And in my case, I actually have multiple versions of Java installed, and I have this other one over here that happens to be version 17 plus. This one is 1704. this one is a high enough version for us to use to run the Spigot server and run Minecraft and all of the things that we need to do. So if your Java prints something that is a lower version than 17, then you may need to update your Java to a newer one or install a second version. Like I've got, multiples installed here. You can install a new one. You need to be using one that is at least up to 17. If you run this command and it tells you something like Java's not found, we don't know what that command does or where to find it or something like that, then you need to basically, first thing you want to do is check if Java is installed. A good way that you can do that is head to Google. And again, I'm not going to walk you through all of the steps to this, but I'll point you to some resources that might help you. So, head over to Google, search there, check if Java is installed. If you want to, you can add your specific operating system. So like if you're on Windows, you could add that, or Windows 10 or whatever. This resource happens to be at the top. This is a great page. You can go through here. This will do the same test that I just did with the command line. It will also show you how to check on Windows. It will show you some different stuff to check, like in the control panel and different stuff like that. So this is great stuff if you need to figure out whether or not you have Java installed. Do that. If you find that you don't have Java installed, then the next thing you want to do is probably search around for something like this: install Java and then the name of your operating system. So again, if you're on Windows, you would just punch in something to Google like install Java Windows 10 or Windows or whatever you're on. If you're on Linux, you can put this in here. You should find some instructions pretty high up in the list of results about how to get it installed. Some results are from java.com, kind of the official web page. There's also this page I found, which happens to be pretty good as well. Phoenix Nap, how to install Windows step-by-step guide. Again, I'm not going to walk you through all these steps, but I wanted to show you this page, kind of take a very quick glance at it and show you that this does walk you through all the steps to get Java installed. So again, another thing you can do if you need, pause this and search YouTube for how to install Java Windows or something like that. Somebody will probably have a video out there for you as well. After you get Java installed, the next thing you need to do is get Java onto the path. And what that means is, like, the path is basically the places where commands are allowed to run from. So if you notice here, the first time I ran Java, I just said Java. Java version, and in my case, it found this version of Java right here because the directory where this executable Java is at happens to be on my path. So the path just tells your computer where command line commands are allowed to run from. You need to have Java on your path in order to run commands from it very easily. Technically, I guess you could get away with some of these steps without having Java on your path. For instance, like this, you can see here, I've hard-coded a very long path here. I've directly set it to the exact place where this other version of Java is at on my hard drive. If you're on Windows, your hard drive path will look different. That's okay, no problem. This is just how it looks on mine. So you can run these commands like directly like this if you want, but it's actually much easier if you get Java on your path, and then you can just run Java whatever the command is. In my case, I'll be continuing to do this because I want to keep my separate versions, but I would recommend for you to add Java to your path. And so again, Google is good for this. If you search add Java to path, you can stick in your operating system again, Windows, Linux, Mac, whatever, and run through one of these first guides here. This one I found is pretty good, Geeks for Geeks, and it walks you through the steps on Windows, in this case, for how to add it to your path. So get that taken care of. When you've got that taken care of, you should be able to run this command, Java space dash version. You should have it print a version of Java which is at least 17. So I'm going to kind of move on from there and assume that you have gotten caught up. So if you need to, go ahead and pause and get that taken care of. Search around for those things. Search for other tutorials on YouTube if you need. Get yourself Java installed. Get it added to your path so that you can run Java version and see it print the versions like this. Okay, once we do have Java, essentially what we need to do now is download a thing called buildtools.jar, which is the tool that builds the Spigot server for us. This is just the way that Spigot server is distributed. They don't distribute it just as the program by itself. They distribute it as this jar file that you run in order to build it. So you can get this from the Spigot page, which again is linked here in the GitHub. I'll open this. I'm actually going to close a couple of these other windows here. This is the Spigot website. Spigot is just a Minecraft server program. You run this program, and then you are able to connect to it as a Minecraft server. So if you're familiar with playing Minecraft and joining servers, this is just a program that runs the server that you can connect with. And this is the server that our Feather plugin works with, so that is why I'm showing folks how to get it installed here. So first thing to do is check out the Spigot website here, spigotmc.org. There are great instructions on this website. There is a section here that says downloading and installing. In order to get this stuff, do this. There's also updated information, just great stuff to read. So I would encourage you, if you've never used Spigot before, take a minute, read through the stuff here. There's good information. And then when you're ready, move on to downloading and installing by clicking continue right here. That's going to take you to this page, which has very detailed instructions for doing the steps that we're about to do, which is installing Spigot by running the buildtools.jar. So we need to basically download the buildtools.jar and then try to run it. So they give us the command right here to run it. They also give us the download link right here in order to download it. So I'm going to click this link here, which will download it. In my case, it downloaded and it actually called itself buildtools2.jar. It's because I have multiple copies of this. In your case, if you've never downloaded one before, then it will just be buildtool. No biggie. You can just switch it. If yours has a number like mine, eventually I'll take this number out. That way I can run the command the exact same way. Or you could leave the different number in there and run the command with that number in it. It really doesn't matter which way you do it. Okay, so we've got our build tools downloaded. Let's see, one thing to mention, where is that actually? It's on, where is the other page? Let me check over here real fast. This page right here actually has got even more good instructions. So again, this is also linked inside of the GitHub repo here. The main Spigot server is this top link. The one right here is the wiki to the build tools, which gives you the instructions for running the build tools. This page back here had the basic instructions. This one goes even more in depth. It also talks about one of the other prerequisites, which is called Git. It will automatically install itself on the latest versions, which we're using one of the latest versions, so that should happen for us. If it doesn't, if you run into some kind of error where it says something was not found and it's something related to Git or something like that, head to this page and follow the instructions for getting Git. So you can do that if you need. There is a link right here for downloading that on Windows. And again, if you're on Linux, you could search something online like how to install Git Linux, or YouTube, you could find lots of great videos for that. So that's another thing I'm not going to dive further into, but you will need it. It should happen automatically. If it doesn't, come back to this page and or search online how to get the program called Git installed. We already talked about Java, so we should be good to go there. Okay, so we've downloaded our build tools jar. This also talks about Java from here, tells you where to install Java from. So this is another good resource if you do need to get Java installed. Again, I'm assuming we've got that set, and so we're going to move on to the next one though. We've got our build tools. The next thing we really need to do is just make a directory where we want to make a Minecraft server. So I'm just going to make a directory here called Spigot server new, and I'm actually just going to put the today's date, like 8/25 happens to be the day, because I've actually made a few of these and I already have Spigot server new. So I'm going to add this. You can call yours whatever you want. You can save it wherever you want on your computer. That part doesn't really matter. Save it on wherever you want in your hard drive. Just make a server where you want to put the Spigot server. We're going to go inside of there, and we're going to paste the build tools that we downloaded. So I'm going to go grab that build tools from my download. Build tools should be right up here somewhere. Got a lot of downloads. There we go, build tools. I'm going to copy the newest one that I just downloaded, which in my case was called buildtools2.jar. I am going to rename it just to take out the 2 in there. If yours doesn't have the 2, then you can just keep it. If it does have the 2, you can either rename it or not. It's up to you. You just need to update it in the command. The command has to match whatever the name of the file is. Next thing I want to do is open the terminal in this folder. On my computer, I can right-click, and there's Open Terminal here. So try that. If your computer has Open Terminal, you can do that. If you're on Windows, one thing you can do, I'm pretty sure, is hold the Shift button. Hold Shift, so I'm holding Shift now, and then right-click in an open spot in the folder, and that should add an option in your right-click menu here to say, like, Open Command Line here, or something like that. So if you're on Windows, go ahead and do that. Get that one open. I will open. Did I already open the terminal? I did not. This is an old terminal. This is in a different location. I want one here, so I'm going to do open terminal. Okay, so now we're here. We have our build tools file. We are ready to run the command. So on this page back here, it will show you the commands to run. Under the running build tools section right here, give you a couple of other pieces of useful information about updating and doing some different stuff. There are sections down here, Windows, Linux, Windows, Mac. So whichever one you're doing, you can follow the directions for that one. I am on Linux, so I'm going to do that. In this case, the command is actually pretty darn close to the exact same, right? This is the command we're going to run. So just follow the one you're in, run the commands. In my case, that's going to be this command right here. However, one little difference for me is that I am actually going to use that other Java version. Remember, I have 2 installed, so I am going to take my Java path from here. If you followed my recommendation earlier and just installed Java and got it on your path with a newer version, then you will, of course, just put Java and then the rest of the command, which is exactly what it has on this page. So you'll be able to copy paste in that case. I will grab this one here. So here's the command, essentially Java space dash jar. That's a hyphen and then the word jar space and then the name of our file. Our file is called buildtools.jar. So again, if you download it, it has a different name, you can specify that here. So I'm going to press enter to let that run. It is going to print out a lot of stuff. It's going to do a bunch of things. It's going to get busy building the Spigot server jar. So it should only take, I think, a few minutes. I've done this before. I haven't actually timed it, so I don't know exactly how long it's going to take. If it gets too long, I may cut the video and come back, but for now I'm going to stick tight and just try to let you watch this in real time here. We're seeing some things say build success. That's probably a good sign. So we'll let this keep going. If you do run into errors, if you're seeing errors get printed about like not having Git or about like having the wrong version of Java or not having Java or something like that, again, this page talks about how to install Git if it didn't work automatically. And you know, if you don't have Java, then of course, like I mentioned before, you got to get Java installed and get it on your path and all that stuff before you can actually run these commands. So we are going here. It's chooching right along. We've got remapping jar file 0 to 100%. It's going to print a bunch more stuff here. It's decompiling some things, just kind of like opening up the Minecraft binary to figure out the stuff it needs for the server. So it will do some of that. It's printing out a lot of stuff. I'm going to use this opportunity to take a drink of water real fast. Okay. Still going here. I think we should only have another minute here. Got lots of decompiling going on still. Okay, here we go. You'll notice it kind of pauses sometimes a little bit longer when one of the files takes an extra second. Getting lots of dones. Right. I think we're getting pretty close now. Again, I haven't timed it, so I could be wrong, but all right. Pretend you're in the matrix here if you want. That's totally okay. All right, we moved on to the next section. It's doing some more things. It's got a building, changes detection, recompiling, resources, plugins. You can read some of this stuff if you want, as long as everything is looking fairly successful. If you're not seeing like a bunch of red text or a lot of things saying like error or problem or something like that, you can kind of just let this do its thing. You don't necessarily need to read all of this stuff. If you are interested in all the different stuff it's doing, it does print it out. So if you'd like to, you can go through and read it. I think, again, that we're getting pretty close here. It's got the shaded jar going on. Got some special source Maven plugins. Remap the members to Spigot. Dependency files, Maven stuff. Okay, we're still going. There we go, building, and we have made it to the end. So if everything works successfully, you will get the last one of these build successes, and then you'll see all this stuff here. Success, everything completed successfully. Copy the final jar files now, copying Spigot, blah, 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 to this place here, which is exactly where we told it to go by opening our folder here and putting the build tools file in this directory. So if what this says is true, then we will have now a version, a jar file of Spigot server right here. So I just opened back up the directory. I haven't been watching the directory while it was working, but while that command was running, it was busy making all these different things inside here. All these directories have different stuff inside of them. Here is the jar, which is the actual Spigot server right here. So this is what we're going to run in order to run our server. And then the rest of the stuff is all things that it needs in order to run the server. So we have made it to successfully installing Spigot server. I am also going to go through the first run. I'm going to get you to the point where you can actually join the server from your Minecraft. So we do still have a little bit of work to do here. Thank you for sticking with me if you have. So next thing we need to do is basically run our spigot.jar. And in order to do that, the easiest way is to make a start script. And if you scroll down this wiki page here, the build tools page, a little bit farther, you will find a couple of things. There are instructions right here for running the this is running the build tools file, excuse me. We want actually back to, I think we want to go back to this page. Nope, this is the same page. Downloading and installing. Okay, when in doubt, let's head back to here. One of these does have the start script. I want to say the build tools, running build tools versions, common concerns, troubleshooting and support. If you do run into trouble, you can check this. Running build tools. Where is the page with the start script? I guess this is not it. Let's head back to the main Spigot page here. Downloading and installing Spigot bungee cord. Let me see here. I thought I had this stuff all lined up, but it looks like I was wrong a little bit. Spigot bungee cord, further download and installing, changing release notes. Where's the start script? Start script. Wiki. Sorry, I need to add this link apparently. I thought I had everything that we needed. We need the start script. Start script? This is just like a forum post. We need the docs for the start script. I swear I found this. Spigot server start script. Here we go. Installation, start, script, start. Okay, installation, Windows. Okay, this is on spigotmc.org/wiki/spigot installation. This is the page that has it. And after it talks about doing the install, the process we just did, running build tools, and then here under installation, it actually has how to make your start script. So on Windows, you want to make a start.bat, B-A-T, for a batch file. You can make that file with Notepad or whatever text editor you like. This is the stuff you're going to want to paste inside of it. And one thing that you will need to do, two things actually. One is replace these hashtags right here with a number. I use the number 2. This is something to do with the amount of server memory. So I put in 2 gigs there. I'm not really running a heavy duty server. I'm not doing a whole lot with it. 2 seems to work pretty good for me. If you need more, you can go more. If you have a very small computer, you could go less, maybe with 1. You will also need to make sure that this right here, where it says spigot.jar, this needs to actually, well, one of 2 things. This either needs to have the numbers here, 1.19.2, that's the version that we just built right now. If you're watching this in the future, you might have a newer version, that's okay as well. In your start script, you either need to put this exact same name instead of just Spigot jar like this, or the other option is you could rename this. You could just take the number out of there, and then it would actually be named Spigot jar, and then you'd be okay. So go ahead, create the start.bat file. If you're on Windows, if you're on Linux, make a start.sh file. If you are on Mac, it says down here, start.command, and then in any of the three choices, you are going to put some text in that file. So just copy the text for the start file from your system. If you're on Windows, copy it from here. If you're on Linux, copy it from here. So I'm going to copy that. We're going to go back to our directory where we have built Spigot. We're going to open the terminal again. I already actually have the terminal open. That's probably okay, though. I'm going to make a new file by just saying touch start.sh. You could just make a new file inside Notepad. That's totally fine as well. In my case, I happen to find this pretty easy to just create an empty file right here, open it up. I am going to open this in my Notepad editor. We're going to paste the code that we copied from here. We're going to paste that in there, and we're going to make our two changes. These two hashtags right here we want to change. I'm going to change mine to the number 2. So first hashtag, change to number 2. Second hashtag, change to number 2. Be very careful not to accidentally erase anything else in here. This stuff looks like gobbledygook, but it is actually important. And if it gets changed, then your server probably will not run or not run correctly. The other thing that we need to change is this spigot right here. What we want is to match the name of this jar file here. So you can just copy paste this. I like to go to the rename window and then Control A and Control C to copy it. You could just write it in if you want, or you can copy it the same way that I did. We want to put that in right there. And this is the command. So if you, again, took my recommendation earlier to put Java on your path, if you got Java installed and put on your path, then you're good to go. You're going to save this start script, and we're going to run it here in a minute. Remember, though, what I said, my Java is actually a little bit different. In my case, I'm going to paste the direct path to it. That way, mine will run under the correct version. So here where I have Java, I'm going to paste that in for me. You won't do that. You'll just put Java there because you added it to the path, because that's the easy way to go. We've got our start script saved. We got all of this stuff in there. We changed the jar file to match our actual jar file. We replaced these hashtags here with the number 2 in my case, whatever number you want for the amount of memory in your case. And we are ready to try and run this. So from the command line in that directory, I've actually got 2 of them now, so I'll close one. In this directory, we should now have start.sh. If you're on Linux or Mac, you need to make this executable. So I'm going to go chmod +x start.sh. If you're on Windows, you don't need to worry about this thing. It should work already for you. When it's a batch file, you shouldn't have to mess with that. In my case, I need to make it executable. If you are on Linux or Mac, one of the things it does, at least in my version of Linux, in this terminal, it turns it green. This is now green, so we know it's executable. And at this point, I can try to run it. So I'm just going to say / for the directory that we're in, start.sh. So in your command prompt, if you're on Windows, or your terminal, if you're on Linux or Mac, go ahead and execute your start script. If you're on Windows, it'll be start.bat. If you're on Linux, it will be start.sh. If you're on Mac, it will be that .command thing, and honestly, I don't actually know how to do it on Mac, so you may need to search around if it's a little bit different on Mac. So, one of the things you need to do before you can run the server for the first time is accept the EULA. If you happen to forget to do that, then what you will see is this thing printed right here. Failed to load EULA.txt. You need to agree to the EULA in order to run the server. Go to EULA.txt for more info. So we're going to do exactly what it says. In the file, in the directory, there is now this file right here called EULA.txt. We're going to open that up in the text editor. By changing the setting below to true, you're indicating that you read our agreement and agree to our EULA. Here's the link to it right here. So go ahead, pull that up, read it if you would like, copy it out of there. You can just paste it right in the browser, pull that up, read it. If you agree to it, then you can go right down here to this line number 3, change that false to true. Save the file. So I just did a Control S to save. You can do file save. You can do whatever you want. That's totally fine. Doesn't matter what text editor you use, how you edit it. Just get it edited to have a true right here instead of a false, and then save the file. Once you have saved this, you can actually just close the EULA. So I'm going to close that. We don't need to do anything else in it. I'm going to head back to my terminal, which is still in my same directory. I'm going to run my start script again. This time it's going to get a little longer. And so again, I'm going to let it run because I want you to see all the stuff it does. And if we run into any other trouble, I want you to see how I resolve the problems. But this is going to run its thing. It will take it a minute or two to get going, and it's kind of the same deal as before. If you're super interested in what a Minecraft server does when you start it up, then you can read along with this stuff. Some of it's kind of interesting. If you don't really care and you just want to get running, run this thing, walk away for a few minutes, come back, it should be done. And so it will print a couple things here. It's telling you about different stuff it's spawning and different stuff it's doing, different settings that it's setting, all kinds of things like this. And then eventually, it's going to print some more stuff. It's going to talk about preparing the spawn area. You might recognize that from like when you start a new Minecraft world, for instance. It's got to like create the world and make the spawn area and create the nether and create the end and do all of that stuff, right? So that's what this is doing now, is creating those different worlds and setting up the spawn area and getting us ready to be able to load into it. While this is working, we're getting pretty close here to being able to actually join our server. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Minecraft as well while that's working. You can wait. You can do it afterwards if you want. Doesn't really matter. I just figure, though, we might as well, while that's working, handle this as well. I'll scoot this over so we can still kind of see what it's printing. We've got our Minecraft here. Again, if you don't have Minecraft installed, you need to go ahead and get that installed as well. So if you need to, pause the video, go search for install Minecraft tutorial. You want the Minecraft Java edition. I know there are different kinds of Minecrafts these days. You want the Minecraft Java edition, so get that installed. This is the launcher for it. I'm going to click play so it will actually launch into Minecraft itself. Here we go. We're still preparing spawn area up to 54%. Okay, and then it's going to do, I think, another spawn area for the nether afterwards. You can see my window gets a little bit weird here, but eventually comes on just fine. Here we go, start region for Minecraft, the end. So now it's spawning the end. Eventually it's going to have to spawn the nether too, I think. Or maybe it did the nether. So at some point it's going to say done. For help, type help. If you see this, you're good to go. So that took 131 seconds. Thanks for sticking in there if you did. If you fast forwarded, that's cool too, or sped up YouTube, that's totally fine, no problem. Once you get to this done here, your server should be running. So at this point, you can try to connect to it from inside Minecraft. So I got the Minecraft client here. What you want to do is go to multiplayer. You need to agree to this, third-party play online. There might be other players on there. In this case, we're actually running the server ourselves. The only other players, they would have to be on your network also. So like probably you're not going to have other players that you don't know about. So it's important to understand the server that you're hosting is not out on the internet unless you have done something to make your computer have a public IP. If you don't know what that is or you haven't done that, then your server is only going to be running on your local network. Only other people on your same network are going to be able to join it. It's not like people from the internet will be able to join it. Again, unless you've specifically set that up already to expose your computer with a public IP on the internet. If that's not you, the only people that can play are on your network, and if you don't have anybody else on your network, then nobody's going to be joining. If you agree with this, click proceed. The thing we want to do is direct connect right here, direct connection. And what you want to fill in right here is the word localhost and then this port, 25565. There is a colon between them. In my case, this was typed automatically. I don't think I typed this before. I'm pretty sure it was just here automatically. If yours is not there, go ahead and type it in. The word localhost, LOCALHOST, then a colon. That's a regular colon there, not a semicolon. So colon 25565. That is the port that Minecraft is running on. And then go ahead and click join server. It's going to do some stuff here. You're going to see some stuff print here in the terminal window. If you've still got this somewhere, it will show you some stuff in there. I'll head back to Minecraft, and we made it in. We are in the game. So at this point, we have spawned into the Minecraft world. We could run around. We are ready to start playing Minecraft on this server. A couple of things that I'm going to tack on to the end of this video that you might want to do if you're going to build the feather. Certainly, you're going to want to do these things. Even if you're not, you might want to do this stuff. I want to be able to go to creative mode. In order to be able to go to creative mode, I need to be a server operator. That's the term they use for it. It's basically like an admin on the Minecraft server. In order to do that, I'm going to go into the terminal here. I'm going to press /op. OP, so /OP, and then I'm going to put a user's name. My user's name is Foamy Guy. Your user's name is whatever your user's name in. Whatever your name inside Minecraft is, that's what you want to put here. Whatever people see when you chat inside Minecraft. So put your username there, /op, your name. Unknown command. Is it, maybe it's not slash? Is it not slash? Ah, okay, no slash, just op. My mistake. I want to keep that mistake in there, though, just to show you some of the commands you run. There's a slash. We're going to be running some slash commands later on. In this case, we did not actually want the slash. It's just op Foamy Guy. You run it in the terminal right here. If it's successful, it will say this: made your username, whatever it is, a server operator. Once we are a server operator, you can then run a command to make yourself creative. Game mode space creative space, again, your username. Mine's Foamy Guy. I did not finish typing it, so therefore I need to try again. Foamy Guy, tab, there we go. Foamy Guy, boom. Set own game mode to creative. I can now fly. Double spacebar jump is the default. You can, of course, change it. Mine's on backspace. You can now fly around. We have creative mode, so we can build blocks and do all the stuff we want to do. Okay, we are now connected to our Minecraft server. We made ourselves an operator. We could set our mode to creative. That's pretty much going to be it for this video. I want to wrap it up here. If you're going to be trying to build the feather inside of Minecraft, then stay tuned and check out the next videos in the playlist. I'll explain the rest of the process in separate videos. This one's just about getting the Spigot server installed, and we have done that. We're successfully logged in. If you do run into trouble, if you don't make it all the way into there, if you are unable to join or something like that, check out the wikis, the support MC installation wiki, the build tools wiki. There's troubleshooting steps on these. You can do that. If you get to this point and you're good to go, you join, you get your op made, and you can set yourself creative, you're ready to move on to the next stuff. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you found this video useful, and I will see you next time. Thanks.